Hello, good time zones, dear listeners. I am your navigator of the digital grid and guardian of the internet, Nico Silverado. Welcome to episode 13 of The Silver Lining, the show where we give smaller creators and various other people of all sizes the voice they need for the topics we all want to hear about. And I am joined by the amazing VTuber, Ciliana, and I am excited to have you here today, and I am ready for today's conversation. Ciliana, good to see you, and of course, welcome in.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is gonna be a rather interesting one here. But before we get into today's topic, I would like to just say, Ciliana, thank you so much for taking the opportunity to join me here today, as I am excited because we had your man Wolf here last week, and now we get to have you here this week. Now it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. Just start like shaking the whole screen all over the place.
I know, yeah. Just shaking everywhere.
Oh,
going wee.
MLG screen shake, sniper rifles. Pow, 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 pow. I miss those days.
Lights flashing.
Mountain Dew double take.
Oh my god.
Yes, those are the older days. The
Oh my god,
days,
I miss
man.
that. The
Hell
glory
yeah.
days.
But yes, so Liana, why don't you go ahead and explain to some of the viewers, like, what is your VTuber model? Because you are a very well-dressed and absolutely lovely model. What are you?
Yeah, well, everyone may think I'm a mouse or a hamster or a rat. I'm neither one of those things. I am a chinchilla, and I am not either one of the other things I mentioned. I'm simply just a fluffy chinchilla. You don't notice it because my tail is hiding, because chinchillas have small tails.
Chinchilla.
Yes, chinchilla.
Every time I think of the word of a chinchilla, there's a guy I follow on TikTok where he's like, that's an interesting argument, and he just pulls out a chinchilla out of his pocket and just plops it on a table.
Battle chinchilla. Is it the guy that does battle chinchilla?
I think he does. I think it is.
Yeah, because Wolf showed me that. He's like, look, battle chinchilla.
Battle chinchilla.
Oh my god, I always wanted to like have my tail like go up, but naturally chinchilla tails are always down naturally usually, but they kind of curve in a little upwards pattern. But naturally they're kind of really tiny into the ground, so I'm very biblically accurate. Okay.
But now here's the question: do you own a chinchilla?
No, I would like to, but unfortunately they're very high maintenance.
Yes.
So, I would rather not own one just due to the fact that they are high maintenance, but I will admire from afar. Maybe one day I'll own one when I'm like less busy and not doing shit, but you know.
I feel that.
One day.
Hell yeah. But I think like one of the really cool things about this whole thing is the fact that, like, you know, I love doing this show because, again, we get to see so many wonderful people, so many new individuals that show up all the time, and it's fun to have you here, and it's really fun to like have you like with this upcoming topic. Now, for those who are just joining us and don't understand what today's topic is something that might be a little bit heavy, but also something that I've always wanted to talk about with somebody. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have plans to talk about whether or not there are or there are any sort of gender stereotypes among content creation, streaming, and even involving VTubers. Because that's something that I've been wanting to get into for quite a long time, and I have a really fun idea for that. But I do want, before we get into the nifty bits of it, I just want to have a more fun time, just because, like, so yeah, I want to know, I remember, like, Wolf gave us a bit of a gist of like his lore about his model, and you two are kind of like hand in hand with your lore pieces, correct?
That is actually correct.
Hell yeah. So what is the lore behind your lovely model?
Well, behind this model, which actually eventually it will change in the future, not now, eventually, but the lore is that I was just a normal person amongst the kingdom, a normal princess amongst the kingdom. My parents left, and suddenly a witch came by, cursed me, and cursed me to become a chinchilla because I had a loyal companion. And that chinchilla is now embedded into the jewel I have on my chest. and so I can also summon it. So like it's like kind of like my familiar, and also in turn too as well. You know, I started bringing in company into the castle, including Wolf and stuff like that, because he was, you know, looking for a home because he was a like abandoned and stuff like that. But that's pretty much, you know, his part of the story that we haven't gone into. But eventually the lore will be changing, because I do actually want to change the lore. Not now, but eventually it will be changing.
Would this lore require would still have you become a chinchilla, or is your lore going to be like you solved the curse?
So the lore is actually going to be evolving, that this character here is a OC of a magical librarian, and she's the one that actually written the story of this princess. And so the princess basically came to life, started streaming, started doing this kingdom thing, and then suddenly she's like, I want to move on to a different story. And so it's still gonna be a chinchilla of sorts, but it's technically, this is her OC. So basically Leah will no longer be princess, she'll be a magical librarian, because I think that'll be nice. I like books, I like writing, so I might as well involve the two and, you know, combine them. It probably won't happen this year or next year, but eventually it will if I do continue to stream.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think I love the variety of lore when it comes to people, because, you know, you have people who have lore based on their IRL jobs. You have people who have a bunch of like lore based upon like, you know, something that happened as a kid. And I think it's really cool because I don't know why, for some reason, the Regal style lore is some of my favorite to watch, because the fun thing about like Regal is just like, there's so many ways you can paint a princess or a prince. Yeah. And there's so many fun ways.
Yeah, and then the one thing that I always told people, the one thing that makes my model kind of unique to most princesses, is that sometimes with princesses they have like this really long, like fancy dress. I feel like having this short dress is pretty much, you know, I was like, okay, I want the model to like walk around and look really good in photos and stuff like that. And I didn't want the long dress. And I always liked princesses, is probably because it stemmed from my love of Disney.
Nice.
But I feel like even though the princess thing is, you know, much outdone and stuff like that, I feel like I want to transfer it into something that I actually love, which is writing stories and stuff like that. And just, you know, creating new things, obviously. So
yeah. So would you call yourself a Disney adult then?
Yes, I am a Disney adult. I have a whole shelf of like Disney stuff that I'm literally like looking at like right now.
So what is your favorite Disney movies?
I would have to say Beauty and the Beast is my favorite. I actually own a limited edition Stitch plush, which is one of my also other favorite movies. I'm also a very big fan of Cinderella, and also Lion King is a favorite of mine.
Nice.
Not a lot of people like it, but I really do like it. And The Little Mermaid too as well. So
nice.
That's a few of my favorites.
That's awesome. I won't call myself a Disney guy, but I definitely I enjoy the Disney's. Like Lion King, definitely one of my all-time favorites for sure. I had VHSs. I got the Lion King 1.5, which is my personal favorite movie.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, that one was funny.
Oh yeah, I got it.
If I were to like relate to like one of the Disney princesses, I think it would be definitely 100% Rapunzel, because I was always like pretty much like homebound because of like my mom and stuff like that, because she was growing up in an Asian household and having strict parents. You're kind of I wasn't able to do much until I was like 18, and then my dad was like, just let her do whatever the heck she wants. And so I kind of resonated with her when the movie came out. And so out of all the Disney princesses, I felt like I related to her the most.
That's actually really cool. Like, so obviously the homebound's not the best thing, obviously, but I think it's interesting, like the IRL lore of it all. That's really cool. And you know, I think that when it's so weird how just like movies can somehow like, oh my god, this movie was made for me, and it's unintentional, especially like Rapunzel and all that. So I love that. That is such a fun like personal lore and VTuber lore, so thank you for sharing.
Of course.
So one thing I like to always talk about when it comes to like whenever I have like VTubers on the show, fun fact, I've only had VTubers on this show. Come on, face cameras, show up.
Right, yeah.
But I would like to know if you had the money and the ability to do really any sort of like VTuber re-debuted, would you kind of maintain your current persona, or would you kind of go full send like 100% new thing?
Honestly, I would probably commit to the whole magical librarian thing. I'll still keep the chinchilla aspect. I would hate this model will always stay in my backlog and be presented on stream regardless if I rebrand or not. I love this model. My mama did so much work to it. I could never get I told Wolf this, I could never give Leah away. Oh yeah. I could never sell her. I could never have the heart to do so. She's my baby. And so honestly, I would probably commit to doing that if I had all the money in the world. 100%. Like on, you know, doing that, and especially like a better debut than what I had last time. There was a lot of people though, but than my first ever debut, because I would consider like the debut I did with this model one of my most like actual debuts. So honestly, it would probably be towards that. Definitely 100%. I would never like rebrand from being a chinchilla or anything. So yeah,
honestly, you know, VTuber debuts are such a hard thing to do because especially like smaller creators, because you know we want as many people as possible to find us and see our models, and you know and you want to pay respects to your mama and papa for making you the best thing they could make, you know. And like when I first like debuted as my bigger version of this model, that was a okay one, not as many people as I wanted. My chibi one had a lot more people involved, and it's always so hard because like I don't want to spend so much money always trying to like dedicate so much just to showcase a model every year just to get any kind of traction.
Yeah, I'm not those type of people that like want to change like their model like every now and then. I've only gotten this idea because I started feeling like, okay, yeah, even though like the print, I'm pretty sure there's 100% there's like a lot of like librarians and stuff like that. But I feel like the whole princess thing, I'm slowly growing out of it, just because I might be just feeling old, honestly. But also the fact that I just really kind of want to do something. Like I said, I just want to kind of include something that I love doing IRL, and I've been wanting to go back to like story writing, and if I ever do that, I might include that in my streams, honestly. Yeah.
So like with you being as a content creator, I like to ask with all my other guests too, do you consider yourself a hobbyist or a full-time streamer or a full-time creator? I mean,
honestly, I consider myself a hobbyist, and the reason why I'm saying this is because the main reason I got into this was to honestly make friends. Before I started living with Wolf, I was pretty much a loner person. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but I really wanted to make friends, and my best friend was like, you should give VTubing a try. So I started out with a PNG tuber. And so from the PNG tuber, I found a custom model. Used the custom model for a year, and then that custom model evolved into this one. I still kept the gray skin, and I actually combined both the custom model and the PNG tuber and made it into one thing. A totally different outfit, because I got the crown from the custom model and then the hair from the PNG tuber. So it's kind of I call it a Leah kind of growing up type of thing, because my first ever PNG tuber was almost like I looked a lot younger than what my current model looks like. And then my custom one was a lot older, and this one's now a lot older, and I feel like it fits with me being very much of a hag VTuber. As much as I like to say. But yeah, I'm pretty much a hobbyist. I do it for fun. I do it to make friends and just be entertaining person. That's why I usually don't really like post like many videos and stuff like that, but I'm trying my best. I want to make more friends as much as possible, collab with people, have people to play, games with. I'm pretty sure VTubing is probably the worst thing to make friends with, but I've met so many cool people through Wolf and by myself, and everyone's been so nice. Except a few stranglers, but we don't talk about them.
I mean, honestly, that's fair. So, do you have like any like favorite VTuber memories?
Yeah, like my favorite memory was actually Digi telling me, which you've had Digi on your show before, that I inspired her to actually start VTubing, and that made me like very, very like happy, honestly. Like I was crying when I heard that that I inspired her, because before, when she was watching me when I was just my custom model, and then she started debuting and I started following her, so that was probably like one of my best memories of being friends with her, and then starting to become friends with Stinga and everyone else. Just because she found me and got inspired by me, and that's probably a memory I will never forget, honestly.
That it's so weird, because like there are so many people out there who it's like, you inspired me to do this. Like, what do you mean? You're better than me. I shouldn't be inspiring you. You should be inspiring me.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that even with my best friend inspiring me to become a VTuber, he still supports me every now and then. He's my mod on my channels whenever he's not streaming, and he still inspires me every day. He's a very funny person, so honestly, if I could be like him, I would.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Shout out to Digi for being awesome, by the way. They are So what kind of things, so for those who are listening, where do you typically post and or make content?
Just Twitch and TikTok. I kind of gave up on YouTube, if I'm gonna be honest. I post shorts on YouTube, but I don't do lives on YouTube anymore because my lives have just not been getting noticed. And so I noticed that it's just better for me to just put shorts on there, because my shorts are getting more noticed than my lives. And so TikTok has actually been flying off for me. I just started TikTok, I think, last month.
Nice.
I was kind of hesitant on TikTok because of the fact of it like possibly shutting down again and stuff like that, but because it's so up in the air, I was like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna do it. And I started posting like really old like clips I had, that like really extremely funny ones, and those like flew out the roof. Like those started getting like automatically like 2K views, and I was like, damn, why didn't I start this earlier?
Honestly, it's so wild like that, because I went through the same thing personally very recently, where like I was almost getting ready to give up on YouTube, but then I got very, very thankful with like a really weird turn of events, and I do enjoy my YouTube lives. I can't get on TikTok anymore because TikTok has me banned by their automated thing, because they think I did something I didn't do, and I can't get a human to help review it. So I'm just on YouTube lives and I'm on Twitch. So that's how it goes. But
I think that's what happened with one of my friends too, that they're kind of currently banned because of something. I don't know what. So I'm kind of been afraid to hit the live button on TikTok because of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get banned.
I mean, honestly, as long as like you're not like, showing the goods, then I think you're gonna be in trouble,
Yeah, no. I mean, everyone always tells you to like, put, your like your oranges more in one, or your apples in more than one basket and stuff like that. But it's really, I don't have the best computer to multi-stream. Okay, I'm gonna be honest about that. So that's why I usually just stick to going live on Twitch, and just stick to that until I feel like I'm like, okay, we should try TikTok, and post funny moments on both my YouTube shorts and TikTok, and just let everything go there. I want to try it one day, but because I'm more of a hobbyist with my streaming, I just and part of me just doesn't really care.
That's fair. Would you ever want to go full time, or is that kind of just like off the table, no interest?
Unfortunately, because I love what I do job wise, I have no interest of doing it. Not saying that I don't care about like my viewers or anything like that, but I'm just mostly doing this for fun. Honestly, I'm just doing it for fun. I don't care about the views I get. Any views I get, cool. If I have one viewer the whole entire stream, I'll still have fun. It gives me a reason to, one, finish my games, and two, just have fun with chat and have fun with others, honestly, you know?
Yeah. So.
And any extra money is kind of cool too. So without streaming, I would have not gotten this mic I have, and you know, the Elgato and stuff like that. So I'm very thankful to those people.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the community, by the way, for those who help support them. We love you. We appreciate you, Wiggles.
I couldn't do anything without you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, honestly, the finishing your games part, that hit me in the mood, because like I am too much of a scatterbrain. Like I can't focus on one game. I have like 12 games I need to finish. I have like
a whole backlog of like probably like 12-15 games I need to finish. Unfortunately, may it rest in peace, my Switch no longer plays my games. It works, but it no longer plays my games. I've had that thing since 2017, but it's because of the SD card. So yeah,
unfortunate. L's in the chat.
So until I get a new SD card, which will probably not be for a while now due to trying to save up for the wedding. I know the SD cards don't cost that much, but I'm trying to save every penny I have.
Just put it in your registry.
Try. Yeah. Why is there an SD card in your registry?
I mean,
we were joking. So me and Wolf actually were joking about like what to put in our registry, and I saw someone like on TikTok put like some stupid Star Wars shit in their registry. I was like, Wolf, is this you? And he's like, probably I would do that.
I wanted to put so much gamer shit in my registry, just because, you know, they want to find the cheapest thing that they can put on your registry just for it to be helpful and all that. I was like, yo, give me a gaming chair, give me this, give me that. Like, oh yeah, 100%.
I'm the type of person, I don't know if it's just because I've gotten older or whatever, all I care about, I don't really necessarily need anything. Because one, I have adult money, I can buy whatever I want. All I need and ask for is money. I don't want like any pots and pans or whatever, because like me and Wolf are pretty much, it's just the two of us. We're not gonna add like a third or fourth person, maybe eventually, but you know. Oh
yeah. I'm a minimalist at heart. My wife hates buying things for my birthday or Christmas because I don't want anything. I'm a gift. Unfortunately, I'm also a guy that loves gift cards over everything else.
You know what? Wolf's the same way. He's the same way, because I'm like, dude, your birthday's like next week. What do you want? He's like, money, gift cards. I don't care. Like I've gotten the same way too. I'll usually just ask my mom and be like my mom's like, what do you want for Christmas? Just give me, because she knows how to. She gives me like clothes and stuff like that from like Old Navy, because she knows I like Old Navy. So, you know, they have the best pajama sets, but that's very off topic.
Old Navy, sponsor this stream Old right Navy. Now.
Sponsor.
Give me
sponsored, those. Not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag do it. Do it.
Hashtag do it.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
But no, and again, by every means, you know, 100% congratulations to you and Wolf on the upcoming wedding thon and wedding in general.
You.
I love hearing that.
We're excited. So, I can't believe, dude. Like, it's like gonna be like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 8 more months.
Do you suspect
until we get married?
Do you suspect a momzilla to come out of your mother or Wolf's mother?
Wolf's mother is pretty like level-headed. My mom, maybe.
I'll tell you
maybe my mom.
That was my biggest fear with mine, was I was afraid of my mother. my mother-in-law, like all my mothers in my life were gonna be like, we should do this and we should do that. But honestly, my wife did the best thing. We got one of our really good friends to be the commander-in-chief, saying her word is law. So we shut down every single mom and grandparent trying to run our wedding, and it was the best decision ever.
God, actually, what's crazy enough is I'm trying to get a wedding coordinator to do that. And because I didn't even think about it until my sister was like, did you get a wedding coordinator? I was like, oh shit, that was the one thing I was forgetting. And so I found someone, luckily, and so hopefully they can be the mediator, because my Wolf's mom is pretty level-headed. She just, you know, goes with the flow. My mom, she can be a little bit on the cray side. Asian mothers are pretty they're overwhelming, Chad. They're very overwhelming.
They are the stereotypes.
Not to be not to be stereotypical, but she's so that stereotypical like Asian mom that's like, did you get an A in math? Yes, mom.
Are you a doctor yet? I was just born.
Oh my god. Talk about stereotypical mom. She wanted me to become a nurse. I didn't do that.
Take that, mom. I'm an anime character on the internet.
Yeah. Honestly, like I tell you, like I said, she stopped caring really as soon as I turned like probably like 20 and started like rebelling against her. So, you know.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Dishonor on your cow. Dishonor on your fam. Oh my god. I love that movie.
This is gonna be a great show. I'm here for it. But
yeah.
But hell yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the big topics, don't forget to check out Liliana here today. There'll be a link into their Twitch channel in the description, as well as if you're watching the live episode here today over on Twitch. There will be a connection to their channel because they're awesome. But hell yes. Now then.
Yes.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about something that I have been wanting to talk about for a very long time with the creator. And today, chat, we are talking about the wonderful thing of, well, not wonderful, the shenanigans of gender stereotypes in content creation and in VTubing.
Oh boy.
Now, for context, for those who do not understand why we're talking about this, in the world of content creation and in the world of even VTubing, gender roles play a heavy part for a lot of people's conceptions of what is success, who is why people are successful, and so on. For a lot of cases, it's sex appeal. For a lot of people, it's why if men are better than men are better at gaming than women, and so on. Right. And in even the more drastic cases, the harassment women deal with when it comes to streaming. And so Leon, I want to ask you here today, do you believe that male and female creators are given the same level of credibility in content creation?
Oh, hell to the no, unfortunately. And this is something I've always wanted to talk about too. There is no equality in streaming as a female and male. There is no equal part to it. You'll get treated better as a female than a male. I think this is why 9 times out of 10 males do female models. Yeah. That's what either that or they are, they them and stuff like that, but we don't judge. But I think this is why also a lot of males have turned into female VTubers, just because the fact of having a female on screen gets you views because of ooga booga boobies,
I mean, hey, if I slapped on some melons on my model right now, 100 viewers right now. But I do. Unfortunately, like especially in the VTubing space, I do agree that in VTubing especially, the male to female, I do not have boobs, Thomas. I have pecs. Okay, I have a skin suit.
There's a difference. It's man boobs.
Granted, my model artist. Well, no, my current model artist did a lot better. A cups, fuck off. But I agree that in the VTubing space, especially, the male to female ratio is extremely off balance because I am a part of the people that believes that most female VTubers get a higher degree of success because it's easier for them to use sex appeal. However, the sex appeal goes to a point where you do have the ability to, you know, to ride the wave, but then it gets into the harassment aspect of it. People expect your models to be, people expect you to have booba zoom ins, booba windows, and more designs from female VTuber models are becoming more and more sex appeal to just barely cross the line for like Twitch TOS, because like Twitch TOS, in my opinion, has a point about why they have to make these updates for VTubers, because I believe female VTubers are deliberately making these hyper sexualized outfits. But of course, at the same time, there does come a point where it is, of course, body positivity and, you know, hell yeah, feminine beauty, because we love women. But like when you're making a bikini model in a public website where there's nothing more than like a quarter's width of cloth between your nipple and the boob, it gets really hard to defend at that point.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. And there's no offense to like the very popular VTubers out there, being like, you know, Shy Lily, you know, she's had a recent swimsuit debut. I think Numi has had one previously before. And the thing is, it's like, as long as it jiggles, it's very eye appealing to the male audience. And this goes, and I'm gonna compare it to, because I'm very much a gacha nerd, it's like, you know, it's females unfortunately sell. They sell, they get viewers, they, you know, they give you the money that, you know, people, you know, give you the money and stuff like that. As long, basically what Umbra says, as long as it wiggles, the wallets will jiggle, basically, because it's like in gacha, and that's why gachas have a lot of females, is because females sell, because it's like unga boonga, you know, boobies are pretty, the ladies are pretty, blah 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 blah. And I roll both ways, and I completely agree. But it gets to the point where it's way too much. And then, like, you know, I have gotten harassed before. I have gotten flirted with before. I have gotten creeps before as well. And I've told Wolf about it, and he's been very mellow-headed about it. And he hasn't, like, you know, told these people off or anything like that. But if it ever does get to that point, you're gonna feel the wrath of a wolf boy coming at you, but that's besides the point. And so I feel like because of the nice voice, the nice model, it attracts people. Even, unfortunately, there is a genre for it. People like the lolicon female models too. There is a genre for it. People like it. As long as it's female and it jiggles and it's cute, people will be drawn to it. Unfortunately. And that's why it's hard for males, you know?
Well, because, like, to me, you know, one of my biggest things I try my absolute hardest with my personal VTuber journey is I'm trying to not jump into the sex appeal aspect of it all. Like, yes, my model can be physically attractive, but I'm not going to be like shirtless, six-pack. Like, I don't want to be a part of a book talk group, all right? Like, I don't want my model to be like, yes, you look like you could totally do this one thing, this one character. And it's like, no.
Actually, I did want to say something about that, though. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
You're fine.
So no, the only way males can get views is if they have shirtless versions of their model, pecs, or a very, 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 very deep voice, or a good singer.
That's true.
One of those. Because apparently the only popular male VTubers out there have either shirtless models, very good sexy art, or very, very sexy voices.
Oh yeah.
And as a female myself, I can agree that does attract people, but it does does get to a point where it's very annoying.
Yeah, I mean, if you ain't Corpse Husband, then your voice is not deep enough, you know?
Yeah, basically.
Now, because, like, you know, I think it's one of those situations too where in a way, with how competitive the content creation space is, sex does sell. Or even if you're not using it to attract fans, you choosing to make a model of that style attracts eyes and says, oh my god, I can't believe Shy Lily made this super skimpy looking model, or various other, like so many other people. And you know, in your opinion, do you believe the hypersexualization of female VTubers has kind of deteriorated the credibility of female content creators?
Unfortunately, it has, because there is those things called LewTubers out there.
Yes.
It has, because unfortunately, the only way people can get a lot of views is either A, you're really super hilarious, which is a valid, you know, point to have a lot of viewers, or you have a very good sex appeal and you jiggle and you wiggle, and have a good voice. So you have to be very entertaining and very, because there does get to a point where, like, the most people who have the most viewers have very good sexy models, but also talent does come into play. Like, for example, Iron Mouse, who's a very talented female streamer, and she deserves every praise that she can get. Like, sex doesn't always get the views, but it's also talent too. So that's why I think that's also why too, like, female VTubers are skyrocketing, because of VTubers like Iron Mouse and like Shy Lily and Bao, and like Amelie, that make the space like, oh, I have to be a female VTuber, you know? Because I don't know if there's like a really popular male VTuber out there. I'm pretty sure there is, but I just don't know.
I mean,
because I follow mostly females, unfortunately. But
I mean, in terms of like, you know, popular male VTubers, like, it's most of the time male voice actors, like for example, like Sayu, who is very popular because he's in every other video game that comes out nowadays. Good for him. You know, you got
Porcelain, unfortunately, is popular because of the doll thing and female model, but
but like
also he's a really funny dude though.
But the way he symbolizes his model is not necessarily like 100% like sex appeal, you know. But you know, and like obviously like the Niji Sanji boys, if there's any left. But like, I think it is really those things where, you know, the VTubing space in general has always been female dominated. Do you believe that in the general space, do you believe that female versus male content creators are still in a dire jeopardy? Like, basically outside of VTubing, do you think it's still a pretty hard division?
Unfortunately, in the outside world, it's a totally different ball game, because even if females are like prioritized as idols, we're still getting harassed, even outside in the real world, getting hit on and stuff like that. I've had cases where I've been too scared to go out by myself because I have gotten hit on a couple of times at Walmart. Okay, those guys are creepy. So anytime I go anywhere, I refuse to go anywhere by myself. So
your first mistake was Walmart.
It's hard. Well, okay, look, I like Walmart sometimes, all right?
Walmart, I people watch, all right? I have some of the most degenerate memories of people I've seen at Walmarts, all right? I've seen Walmart's scary, but nevertheless, though. But yeah, I'm glad to hear, like, because I think the problem is, like, I think the reason why no one wants to say the quiet part out loud is because they think that if I, as a man, if I say women are over-sexualizing themselves, women are this, I'm going to be called a pig, I'm going to be called all these sorts of things, and my opinion in the matter has no value. Because the problem is that it's a really hard topic to just say, how dare how dare women show their bodies off? Because there's so many cop-out responses that you can say, oh, this is body positivity. Oh, this is what the person actually looks like, and they just want to be a VTuber with it. And, you know, I am all for and I adore women who have body positivity, whether they're large, skinny, or in between. Body positivity is fantastic. Pushing the envelope and making it your whole personality, there are platforms for that.
Yeah.
There are
like,
platforms for that. OnlyFans, Fansly, and so on. But like at the same time though, there are various people out there who are very wholesome in their ways they do stuff, but they are known for, like, for example, like formerly VSojo's Project Melody. She's known as an adult actor in the VTubing space, but when she's on stream, she's very reasonable. She's very, like, you know, moderately wholesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and there it gets to the point too that like even wholesome VTubers who aren't like, you know, overall sexual and stuff like that, they it's hard for them to get views. Like the cozy type of VTubers, unless you're a chaotic gremlin or very extremely funny, it's very hard in that aspect as a female who does, like, you know, stuff like that and tries to be funny, you know, to get those views unless you're being oonga boonga. But it does get to a point as a female speaking that where it's kind of like, I support it, right? But it's just like it gets to a point where it's like, okay, like it's too much, you know? And it deters me even as a female. I'm like I said, I may roll both ways, but it just gets to a point where I'm just like, you know, it's hard to explain in words, but you know.
So for you, like when you make content, have you ever felt like that your gender has affected how your content was received or even judged? Like, do you think people automatically give you an automatic rating because you're a woman playing a video game or something?
At first I felt like that, yes, because of the amount of people who are like, oh my god, your model's so pretty, blah blah blah, you have a nice voice. That's how I felt like in the end, or like when I first started out. But now, as of right now, probably not so much. I stopped getting like a lot of like the harassment and stuff like that as soon as, like, you know, Wolf started joining the VTubing industry and just basically being there. I think I have a safe gate when it comes to him. That I don't get as much harassment, but it still comes every now and then through those YouTube and TikTok comments where people are being unnecessarily creepy for no reason.
Oh yeah. And I think honestly, I would like to think that a lot of people get out here and they see a person and their goal is just to make them uncomfortable. Because I think in my opinion, as like a ballpark estimation, I would say at least 60% of the people who come in Oonga Boonga are doing it purely just to get a rise out of you versus the people who actually will simp.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because, you know, we have all these people that it takes a long time to break out of the gooner moments of your content creation career. And then you get people who are like, hey, I like your content for you. You know?
Yeah, no, it is very hard. And I do feel bad for the male VTubers, especially like Wolf. There are days like I'm noticing that whenever I stream, I get so many people, and not comparing myself to him or any means of being like, oh my god, I'm better than you, because he has more followers than me, of course.
Yeah.
But every time I stream, I get more viewers. I don't know if it's just because everyone loves me, which hearts to chat that is here. I love you guys. But I'm pretty sure it's because of, one, people who love me, and two, like, you know, people who, you know, really like my model and stuff like that. But also, like with Wolf, it's hard with him in terms of viewer wise because he gets such a viewer difference than I do because of him being like the, you know, this male VTuber out on the interwebs and, you know, not having a pretty model on. And I noticed that whenever he does have like his female friends on, he gets more viewers and stuff like that. It's not all the time, but like I feel like it's just been hard on him, especially, you know, with the wedding-thon and stuff like that. You know, the algorithm kind of sucks with male VTubers. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Oh yeah. No, I do think, to a point there's, what's the word? I think there is a fair judgment to say, yes, because you don't have as much sex appeal, you may not be able to earn as many viewers. But I think that it's such an important thing to say, like, if you have the sex appeal, that's your entry point. to getting the viewers because like once you get the people to find you, then it's just your personality, it's your content, it's what you're actively doing on the stream that really retains them. And I think like it's just the visual appeal of the female models. Boom, that's how you get people to join your channel. Like for me, I like with my chibi model, you know, like compared to like my other model is larger, a bit more like if I like basic, and I didn't see as much of an increase. I switched to chibi model, and I'm using the cuteness appeal, and more people on my YouTube side come to my my channel and say, oh my god, your model's cute as fuck, I love the eyeballs, I love the cat hoodie, I love your crazy hair. Like it's just the visual appeal that like really brings them in is what has personally helped me.
Yeah, and I feel like 100% that the only way, and this is no offense to anyone that is a male VTuber or whatever, but I feel like having a really nice looking model and or cute looking model does get you the views. And I think that's why I've gotten so much recognition, because people are like, oh my god, you have a very cute model. Like for example, like when me and Wolf were doing the meet and greet, I had more people come to me than him because because of my model, because of how cute it is and how good looking it is. I don't know if it's just because I'm a female, but because of, you know, it's just basically looks are the way to go with especially like females. But with males, it's a lot harder. You have to like go tooth and nail to make your model either look cute, handsome, or just have a nice voice. Like a lot of people, speaking of the butler, a lot of people have complimented Wolf of you know, having a good voice, but even then, you know, a lot of people would, you know, just gravitate towards me because, oh my god, pretty female on screen, hi. You know,
it's the thighs.
It's just, you know, thick thighs save lives, but this model does not have thighs. This model has sticks.
I would not call those sticks. They're beautiful.
Well, actually, I mean, I kind of do, kind of. I kind of do, kind of. But, you know.
But yeah, like it comes down to just, you know, in my opinion, the requirement, the expectation of models has become so intensely higher because like, for example, you know, VTubing like 4 or 5 years ago, you could be like, what we have now would be groundbreaking in visual appeal. But now the mold, the requirement, the visual requirement of models has shot up so exponentially that, you know, people will say, oh, it's another guy in a suit, or oh, it's another guy in a cyberpunk outfit, you know, or a woman in a this color palette thing. Boom. Like people have done so much of the same types of outfits now, it's very hard to differentiate or separate ourselves.
I agree. I agree.
And it's really difficult because nowadays, like with men, we can only go in so many ways without pushing the envelope in terms of like TOS issues. Like, because like one of my outfit wishes, I want to have a suit. I want a model with a suit and tie. Like I want some James Bond level outfits, but that would kind of ruin my visual appeal because other than like my scars on my face, I'm nothing more than another silver-haired VTuber. My model suit is like one of the biggest like visual appeals because not many people have a suit like this.
Yeah, and that's why like, and no offense to male fashion or anything like that, but I think that's why females can get away with a lot of shit because we can do so much interesting stuff to our models. I kid you not, I spent a whole entire month getting a whole vision board of what I wanted Leah to be through outfits, through hair, through the tiaras. And literally my mama made this. It's a whole it's like literally you can't find this outfit anywhere else. She literally combined everything I had into one drawing of her own. So like, and that's what makes I tried to basically make Leah so unique that like, you know, even if I were to, you know, say that like, oh, it's overdone because it's blue and white and whatever, I try to go out of bounds with everything and try my best. And I think that's why, like, you know, females can get away with a lot, is because the male fashion is, unfortunately, it's so limited. Unfortunately, it's very limited, and that's why I think a lot of males go to having a female VTuber model, because you can do so much shit, because the male fashion is very, unfortunately, it's limited.
It's limited in the respect of how unique we can be. Yes, we can get our colors, but otherwise it's like, oh, do you want to look like a lumberjack? Do you want to look like a guy with a suit? Like, unless like men were to go into the femboy outfit tiers, that's kind of where we can go to. But that opens up men into the gooner category, where the femboy lovers like, yes, my boys, you know.
And I feel like and then that's why, like, you know, Sayu's model, for example, is so unique, because like it's not something that's overly done. And I feel like with males, especially comparing it to him in general, that I feel like if I were to give male VTubers any type of advice to try and improve, is like maybe try and, like, you know, have some inspiration from him, being like, you know, don't go with like if you want a basic suit, have one, I don't care, you know. But like, have a vision board and put your own outfit together, you know.
So I would like to think, I want to kind of get your idea of a of an opinion in this situation. Do you believe that, as of right now, do you believe that audiences hold men and women to different standards of appearances and behavior?
Honestly, I feel like in my personal, like, you know, like experience, my chat has always treated me the same as if they were to treat Wolf the same. They treat me and Wolf the same as if they would treat anyone else. Now, I don't, I have never been in other people's chats where like people, you know, are treating, you know, females differently, but sometimes people will be like kind of unhinged and stuff like that, especially like, you know, going outside of the VTuber space, but especially like female face cam streamers, those people can be nuts. But but in terms of VTubers in general, like, I feel like sometimes people can act a little bit differently, just depending. But sometimes a lot of people are just accepting in the VTubing space. So I feel like in reality, not a lot of people, I think, would, you know, like if you were to like say, let's say I was a popular female VTuber and I were to have you on my collab, I don't think anyone would be like, oh my god, it's a male, hello, you know. I feel like everyone's pretty much chill in that aspect. Now, that's just from my personal experience. I can't speak for like someone who's like has like 1,000 viewers or whatever, you know.
Because like for me, I have actually experienced this personally. So with my chibi model, chibi models are by no means a new thing for any content creator out there. And like many very popular female cut chibi models have them out there. But like what I've noticed is the biggest like difference and almost like hypocrisy is when a female VTuber makes a chibi model, it's considered cute, it's considered adorable. There's no harm in however old the person is. It's like, oh my god, it's a cute female model, great. I have faced a lot of scrutiny from the trolls saying that I am being, you know, a pedo because I'm a male adult who chooses to use a chibi model to showcase myself for my content. Obviously, that has since quelled heavily since I instant banned any of those people. But it's the double standard of appearances that always throws my mind out. Same exact thing for the vice versa for females. You know, you get males who are out here shirtless with like their swim trunks and all that, no problem, no issue, because, you know, societal norms, shirtless man is totally fine. But you get a woman out there with like a bikini's top style, immediately they see midriff, they see boob window, lose their goddamn minds. I mean, I lose my mind too.
No, I get it. And like I said before, it comes to the point where it's just like, oh god, that's overwhelming. What and like that's, and what I say is that, like, you don't have to be like, there's a game out there called Love and Deep Space. You don't have to be like those men, okay?
I want to be the sexy vampire man who just pins you against the wall and just stares at you, whispering sweet nothings into your ear. You can't stop me.
Oh god. Yeah, no, there is actually male VTubers out there who became popular by doing that shit, by the way. And not any hate towards them, but yes, it would attract someone, but it deters someone like me, though, where I just want to find someone funny. And, you know, I don't care about looks. I think maybe it's just I'm a generalist when it comes to like VTubers. If you're hee hee ha ha funny, I will I'll like you, okay? Or if I find you entertaining, I'll sit in your streams. There's been times where I literally sit in people's streams when I work. Like, for example, whenever Umbrai is streaming, I sit on his streams. Whenever my friend Zach Zilla is streaming, I sit in his streams. I always sit in my fellow like VTuber streams, especially like my male VTubers, and just sit and just chill, because either Wolf's not around or I'm just genuinely bored and I need entertainment, because what I do at work drives me insane, but also I need entertainment.
That's fair. You know, like for me, I have always been, I don't care about the sexual appeal or the visual appeal of most models. You know, for me, it's the ability to hold a conversation without needing to resort to, all right, guys, so today and then immediately 300% zooms in on the chest, and then they're like, all right, guys,
oh my
like
God.
move left, move right, or goddamn, female VTuber moves a half a centimeter, their boobs on maximum jiggle physics. Like,
oh my God.
Like I just want a creator who has a nice looking model but can hold a degree of a conversation, because at the end of the day, that's all I want. The visual appeal's great, but if all like I can just tell when someone's whole character, their whole call to fame is their sex appeal. That's all they got. Right.
I never intended to Leah being someone that just to be starved for attention of sex appeal, because of the fact of being with Wolf. I'm loyal to him until the day I die, okay, chat? And so I wanted Leah to be someone that is just a pretty model on screen, and, you know, someone to be like, oh my God, she's so pretty, she's so cute. Not someone that has a big sex appeal or whatever and stuff like that. I don't want any attention to her. That's why I will never ever get an NSFW art of her. The least I'll do is like cute little like Valentine's Day like arts, like the nonchalant ones, but like other than that, Leah will never ever get sexualized. Even if she does, that's between me and Wolf.
That's, hey, you know, honestly, that's fair, and I commend you on that, because my next question I was going to ask you was if it meant better exposure for your model and for your profile. Not saying you would have to go all the way and go full NSFW, but like, would you use the occasional NSFW content to bring out more exposure and eyes to your character?
Honestly, no. And Wolf can tell you this too. I'm very shy when it comes to even the general list of being like, in quotations, of sexy or whatever, because I'm someone who is very kind of uncomfortable with her current body and is also working on it, which yay, lost 60 pounds, let's go. But
Love it.
Honestly, no, I would never do it, just because even though I roll both ways, like I said a million times, I'm not into the sexy aspect. I will never do it. I can never be it. I can never act it, okay?
Sure.
And usually if I do, that's between me and Wolf alone, okay?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, like, I have never thought about the usage of it. The reason why I don't really want to go into the NSFW aspect of my model is because the moment I go into that aspect is the moment I will be, because like, it's not that I love good NSFW content when it's within respect to the creator and respect to like the artist, but I don't want to be known for my NSFW content. I don't want people to show up because of that. And I also know that I have younger minds who come to my channel all the time. And I'm not saying I'm like, you know, like I'm not 18 plus, but I would like to be considered an adult, you know?
Right.
And I think it's just one of those situations where, you know, the stereotypes and expectations that we get as creators is always such an intense thing because like for any female creator out there, you are never ever required to do NSFW to get traction. There are creators out there who are able to make a name for themselves purely off their energy, their vibes, and their ability to make content. For example, you got female VTubers like Chibidoki, who is known to be always a gremlin, who's loud, high energy. I don't think there's NSFW of them. I hope not. But, you know, they do a lot of great things. Iron Mouse doesn't capitalize on NSFW. They do a lot of other things. Your talent is your content. Talent can always be content. Your body does not need to be the only reason why you find success.
Yeah. And if you want to do something, you know, like that, cool. That's all on you. You do whatever. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be like one to watch you because of that content. I'll still support you no matter what. I mean, I like my good-looking anime girls. I play Nikkei, okay? But that's besides the point.
You're just looking at the jiggle figures of their butts. That's all there is.
Yeah, it's the butts, okay?
It's the butts.
You have to have a good butt, okay?
Hams.
Anyways, but I'll still support you. Like, if one of my friends were to ever one day go NSFW, I will still support them no matter what, okay? But I would never watch it myself, unfortunately, because it's just something I really don't like watching nor have interest in. And unfortunately, there is a group for that. So in the end, like, you know, even if like, you know, it is kind of unfair for like females and males to, you know, do VTubing, I still feel like there's still like some of a balance, especially because, like, you know, I feel like slowly, because of Sayu, that male VTubers are becoming a lot popular. And so I feel like it's starting to balance itself out. Yes, there is more female VTubers out there still, but because of Sayu and Kuro and you know, other famous male VTubers, a lot of male VTubers have been comfortable just coming out as themselves, even though they have a basic outfit or whatever. I still feel like that there's still a slow balance, but there's still a slight imbalance, you know?
Oh yeah. And I think, and I get this a lot of time with my YouTube chat, for example, where they ask like, oh, I don't know if I'll get enough views as a male VTuber because I'm not sexy enough. Guys, it's not necessarily about sex. It's always about, like, if you blame your lack of growth because of purely the lack of sex appeal, you're not making good enough content. You're not making content that is appealing to other people. And it's a lot of times it's the approach that is involved with it. And it's a really difficult thing to put into proper words, because I can spout all this stuff about why I think I found success as a new YouTube partner, as a male VTuber who didn't use any sex appeal. But, you know, it's like there is an expectation that's required of all of us. Like nowadays we have to have models, we have to have this ability to create nice flowing working content, working models, because we can't just be stiff models anymore. Unless you're like a really good PNG tuber, you can't be a stiff model anymore. You have to have motion. Like when I got this model updated, I made sure I emphasize, hey, make sure I can wiggle, make sure I can smile, make sure my mouth and eyebrows move. Because, you know, like it used to be you just had a cool concept, that's all you needed to be a VTuber. Now the functionality of your model has to be huge, has to be major. Like, like I'm in the process of getting my own 3D model right now. And, you know, I want to do this because like I want to have a really fun way to be incorporated with more types of content. And it's gonna be really awesome.
Right, yeah, no. I agree that a nicely rigged model will get you attention, but there is a couple of my friends out there that have really nice rigged models, and they deserve all the attention in the world, and yet their viewers haven't skyrocketed. Their type of model would get them like, I kid you not, like 1,000 like, you know, viewers because of how good the rigging is and stuff like that. And that's why I told myself that if you know, when I eventually, if I do you know, eventually like rebrand the princess aesthetic, that you know, I don't want to spend too much, because I feel like the investment is not going to be so much worth it, because, you know, people aren't, you know, seeing the amazing stuff that your papa did and stuff like that, you know, or your mama did, or both, because you got lucky and got both a you know, a rigger and an artist, you know.
Yeah, it's really cool to, because like it's interesting to see like how much technology has changed, and I do firmly believe that in a way male VTubers have a way to grow. Well, not just VTubers, male content creators have a way to grow just as much as female VTubers. It just depends on how your content is made, how active you are in pushing it out, and just the general effort. Because I talk about this a lot with every guest, how in today's world content creation is required to genuinely, content creation is more than just streaming now. It's the outside content. And you know, I think that in a lot of times, like, we have to be very prepared to tell our audience, hey guys, I'm trying really hard to make this. I don't know if I'm doing right. Because, you know, it's this actually kind of falls up to my next question I wanted to ask you here, because like this one can kind of be really interesting. Because do you believe that there is a difference with how audiences respond to male versus female content creators in a moment of vulnerability?
In a way, yes. Because sometimes I feel like when it comes like to females, that like the audience, especially trolls, can make a female more vulnerable than a male. Because unfortunately, we as females are very, very, very sensitive people, unless you're a strong female, like some people I know. We can be, you can easily break a female. You can easily break a female. Just depending on how strong you are as a woman. There are strong women out there. Praise you guys. But there may be not strong women, because people can tug on your strings and make you cry on the spot, you know? I feel like with men, they can take it. They can take it and be like, oh, okay, whatever, I don't care. But there is some women out there that can be like, they can dish it back out to you. Like my friend Ira. Like, she's gotten like, you know, a few like, you know, weirdos, and she's kind of called them back out on it and stuff like that, and I find it funny when she does that. But I, you know, in moments of vulnerability, I feel like females have it kind of the hardest, just depending on who you are as a female. If you're a strong female woman, then, you know, I feel like you'll definitely, you know, be able to dish it back out. But if there's those like, you know, if there's people like me that are kind of like still not strong enough to defend herself, you know, I feel like I can be more vulnerable. But also there is times that, you know, sometimes males can be vulnerable too. I mean, it just depends, really. You know, as a person, it really depends. But I feel like it's more common in the female aspect, really.
Oh, I agree. And like from the male aspect, you know, a lot of times it's the innate teaching, I guess, that we have to be strong in order to go about our lives, you know, being the man of the house, the man of the situation. And like a lot of times men, mostly our friends, harass us in a way that we're used to the scrutiny from our peers, because it's just the way that we deal with things. And in a lot of ways too, like when you're streaming, a man, like most men, will see someone talk mad shit and will say, okay, dish it back out, because why the hell not? And there are men out there who are sensitive, and there's no bad thing about that. That's just how some guys are. I'm not gonna lie, I take a lot of my hate comments and say, all right, here we go, I'll dish it back out, see if they still stay in the stream. But then there are some times where I get hit with comment after comment, and it's like, like it hits you harder, it wears you down. And you know, I do believe that in a lot of ways, in my opinion, from a man's perspective, it's easier for women to be vulnerable, because most people expect women to have those types of moments. And when it happens, it's seen as like cute, or it's seen as like, oh my god, it's so sweet. But then when a man does it, you know, it's the double standard of, oh, kind of like it's almost seen as,
man up.
It's seen as gross, or it's seen as just like, oh, well, you're a bitch, ha 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 ha, bye, you know. Or you get called, you know, gay, or you know, like they throw that around. It's like, okay, sure, that's
like I feel like a lot of like popular like male VTubers who have like, you know, shown like some, you know, forms of vulnerability can get away with it. But if you're not so popular in the space, there is gonna be trolls that are gonna troll you and be like, suck it up, buttercup, stop being a pussy, you know,
don't be
stuff like that.
Yeah. My wife tells me that all the time. Suck it up, buttercup, whenever I have a bad day. Well, if you're getting yourself, you're gonna be molded into shape.
I know, right? Gotta whip him into shape.
Impress the Asian mom.
Right, for real.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
No, it really is. It's interesting. And like another thing too, like the whole like male versus female thing. I think there's also a difference between how men and women go through failure as content creators, because like when men fail, it's seen as a part of the journey or a hiccup. But when women fail, it's a lot of times like, oh, she just couldn't commit. She couldn't do the thing. And like in my eyes, I don't think women are allowed to fail as easily as men, because, you know, especially in the gaming space, in the content creation space, women who fail in the gaming world are just seen as skill issued, bad at what they want to do. Like they should stop. God forbid they use the famous clapback, go back in the kitchen. It's like, oh, hoes.
Yeah, go make me a sandwich.
Meanwhile, you kill them 18 times as a spite.
Right, yeah. You seen those like very famous like Valorant like streamers, and there's a girl I like to watch that plays like Tarkov, and she gets those comments all the time too. Like it's hard. And they're face cam streamers, by the way, too. But still, it's very hard, especially like, you know, and that's why I kind of stray away from games like that, because males can be very kind of like, especially on Rainbow Six Siege, where they're just kind of like, go back in the kitchen, make me a sandwich, you can't shoot, gets killed.
Oh, I love the Call of Duty ones where they're playing like Warzone, and it's like they just wipe out an entire team and they say, yo, what the fuck? Women clapbacks are my favorite, just because like the misogyny of gaming is dying down, but it still is very existent, you know. Magus, thank you for the sub. By the way, we're green now.
Yay!
You're now green on my side. I love it.
Yay! I'm an alien now.
You're now just a lemon flavored chinchilla. It's fine.
Yay! I'm sorry.
Awesome. But nevertheless, though, it really is a situation where, you know, the misogyny in gaming has died down, but it's still a dying breed of people who have just chosen to constantly be involved in this like really outdated mentality. Because the fun thing is too, there are women out there that are making more money playing the video games that men wish they could do, you know.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
true.
That like women have gone through with this sense of power ups in the content creation and in gaming, and I love everything about it. And you know, and with men, I think men have kind of humbled themselves a little bit more to understand that, you know, it's okay to not be the number one like Billy Badass in a lobby, you know. Like it's kind of like died down a little bit. And I think like no matter how it is, like we're still gonna witness these like very weird, very odd like groups of people who just have this misogynistic sense, because like, oh, they're protected by the internet for now.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
Now, in regards to like that, do you think platforms do enough to protect creators from gender specific harassment?
Unfortunately, no. Besides, like the Twitch TOS thing, no.
No.
No, not at all. Actually, Twitch bullies females more than males. Like for example, I think that there was a really popular like female streamer that got like banned randomly because of her. Was it? I think it was like Meg. I think for her swimsuit. Yeah. She got banned because of she wasn't in the right category and stuff like that. That shit can happen. That shit can happen. And so unfortunately, content creation platforms are not the best. They don't protect women as much as they should. They give men all the leeway, no offense. But you know, I feel like they should try and like be more leeway specific, but also they kind of have to be like protecting in a way like that, because unfortunately there's minors out there and they'll be like, oh, why is there big gazungas on my screen, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's sometimes it's really hard because it's a horrible double standard, because you know, it kind of comes back to the whole visual appeal and the apparel of women versus men, you know, like very popular VTuber Zentreya. They just released like their new Mafia version of her outfits.
Yeah.
That model is fantastic, but the fucking boob window on that model is insane. Like
Yeah.
I look at that thing, I'm like, where's the nipple? Because like there's just so much of it out. But anyway, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, it's in a way I feel like a lot of female VTubers are getting punished correctly, but because they are jumping on the bandwagon of, oh, I was wrongly banned, it's like, you know why you were banned. You know, look at look at your outfit and really ask yourself, does this really follow appropriate attire? You know, and yes, and it comes back to again the whole like body positivity, but there's only so much you can do to ride that excuse, because again, it doesn't make sense for, you know, it doesn't make sense for you to be on a platform where there are younger individuals out there and you're just whipping it out. You know, like there has to be a standard. There has to be a
yeah, just go on Fansly, man. Just go on Fansly.
Just go on Fansly. So, and you know, when it comes to like, you know, experimenting with that sort of thing with like new models, new outfits, like, do you think men have more freedom to experiment without backlash compared to women?
Honestly, yeah, in a way. I've seen some really amazing like male like costumes and stuff like that, like male like outfits, and I'm like, how did you come up with this? But I feel like with females, if it doesn't have like, if it's not showing your chest or your thighs or whatever, or your lower portions, it ain't gonna get you views. But you know, sometimes, well, I mean, half of our bodies are hiding behind the, like, you know, half of our bodies are not on screen anyway, so like it doesn't even matter. But still, like, yeah, no, I feel like men have a fair advantage in that point, really. I hate to admit it, but it's true.
Yeah, because like again, you know, it's a fine line between the experimentation of it while also having the whole, how far, like, are you trying to attract the gooners, or are you trying to attract general people of your community? Because, you know, like, and you know, and it's hard because too, you know, a lot of times when women make an outfit, people are quick to sexualize it, saying, ah, yes, you made a office librarian, wow, that's a sexy librarian. It's like, no, I'm just a librarian, I'm not trying to be sexy at all. Like, you know, like women, like female VTubers and female creators should be allowed to make outfits without trying to be assumed that they're going for a sexual appeal, or they're going for like the sexual route. And it's really hard for really everybody, because like with men, we can't, like with men, we don't know what we can do to stand out besides, you know, like, and this is from the visual standpoint. Men can obviously talk verbally weird. They can have a weird vernacular. They can have really, really wild hot takes, Asmongold. And, you know, it's a hard balance between the two, because with women, they think, okay, well, how much sex appeal do I want to force on my audience to gain new viewers, versus, you know, men who are having to do these outrageous acts to get any sort of attention, you know, because I think men have to act out more to stand out and get the news, whereas women, they just get the new outfits and then boom, influx of viewership.
I agree. Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly like agree. Like, it's like what Wolf said is that like many VTubers too will think you're copying another famous VTuber, and that's where it gets hard too, especially with male VTubers. It's like you're like, oh, I want to like be like Sayu and or like Kuro, but then you're like, but you're copying them. It just, yeah, even females get that same like shit too. Like all the C VTubers are like, you're copying Shy Lily, blah 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 blah. Oh, okay, yeah, Cry Me a River.
Oh my god, speaking of that, I actually just yesterday I saw this really bad take on Twitter where it was a tanned skin colored VTuber who had a black and red color palette, whose model was, you know, semi-demonish punk rock as hell, you know, nothing breaking the mold. They had the audacity to tag someone saying, oh my god, look at my Discord community saying and agreeing with me that this person totally copied me. And I'm looking at this thing like, there's that, like, it'd be like me saying you copied Buff Pup.
Yeah,
like the thing, like VTubers, there is a degree where VTubers are allowed to have quote-unquote inspiration of their outfits and looks, but there comes a point where you have to kind of take the L and say everything has been done before, you're not that unique. Like, I guarantee it, when the Tron Ares movies comes out, I'm probably not going to be the only Tron VTuber out there. When when this next like Disney movie that's like about a beaver or something comes out, we're probably gonna get a lot of beaver VTubers and so on. Like because of Horse Girls, we're getting Horse Girl VTubers. I do. There are a couple Horse Girl ones I really like, but it's a thing of like, you know, VTubers we're borderline furries.
Yeah, basically. If it's been done, it's been done before. I feel like it might get to the point where someone eventually might get inspired from me. I won't be, you know, upset, because like there's the design limitations come to a point where it's gonna get very limited. There's someone out there I know of that looks like Iron Mouse, but I won't say their name, but still. There's actually two people out there that look like Iron Mouse, but they're totally different people. And I like how they were inspired by Iron Mouse. And there's also people out there that look like Shy Lily.
Oh yeah.
I won't mention that name either. And there's also people probably out there that do look like Zentreo, or maybe like possibly like Amelie and stuff like that. There's probably people out there, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, with the C VTubers, it's very hard, because if it doesn't look like Shy Lily, it looks like Shy Lily, you know, or it looks like Bao, you know.
Honestly, for me, C VTubers have some of the laziest design attempts, in my opinion, because I really do think that most of them don't try hard enough when thinking about it. Because I think what it is that everyone kind of limits themselves to being no more than 10% animal and then 90% anime girl.
Yeah.
Like I would love for us to go back to the day where we had more like furry level VTubers, where it's like, you know, it's like, oh, I have the ears, because like every C VTuber always has the tail with the same exact animation, the weird Shy Lily ear things, like her hair flops, and then always some symbol on their forehead or chest piece. Like, yeah,
there's a lot out there.
There's like, it's, in my opinion, I do believe that the skepticism of C VTubers is real, because in my opinion, they have some of the laziest originality attempts ever, because like there's more than one way to be a C VTuber, but at the same time though, people choose the same 3 species of C VTubers. you know?
Yeah,
Like,
it's either dolphin or orca or
shark.
or shark or whatever. No hatred to my people that are sharks. Love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But and there's Wolf has a sibling that I very much admire, and she did so her model mama did very good work on making her. I consider her shark VTuber. I think that she's a shark. She's some short form of shark. I can't remember. Look really amazing and different from most sea VTubers I've seen out there.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like my other friend, she rebranded to I think some form of like octopus or whatever. She looks different than most other octopus like VTubers. There's some originality you can do to it. Like, for example, that's why I put so much thought into the chinchilla aspect of things, because I didn't want to be so like originating to like, because there is a like you know, like the ears and stuff like that can be, you know, resembling like a rat and stuff like that. And there's some like chinchilla VTubers I saw out there that I'm like, oh, this would be cute, but like I didn't want to copy them. So that's why I put so much thought into it. And I don't hate anyone that, you know, looks like Iron Mouse, looks like Shy Lily, looks like Bao, looks like any of these popular VTubers. I love your models. I love them. I love how unique you are. But it does get to a point where if you start copying their voice, because there is people out there that sound like Shy Lily, I won't say who, but that you need to just be original, honestly. Like, I hate like female VTubers who try and copy other people like Shy Lily, you know?
And you know,
I'm not a mouse, by the way. I'm a chinchilla, not a mouse.
Every time someone says you're a mouse, take a shot. But no, like honestly, like no matter what it is, and this is the nice thing about the current day of the VTuber space, is that the moment we catch someone trying to act like someone else, they get called out and cancel culture to the point where they'll never be VTubers again. You know. Like the whole thing I saw, like it's got like 1.5 million views in a week because this poor L-Take, they copied me. It's like, no, they didn't. And yeah, you'll have your stans who'll be like, yeah, I am the one who's gonna always support you and believe in you. But like the rest of the internet, they're gonna call you on your bullshit and say, nah, you're silly.
They are.
And I love that. I love everything about it because it makes me feel good knowing where and how the space is evolving to. And I appreciate it so very much. And even with like male VTubers, again, the biggest challenge with male VTuber outfits is that the male wardrobe is very difficult because it's just it's a very difficult thing to get into because our faces are our most defining feature, and even then our hair, even our hairstyles aren't all that interesting. Like, I had to work real hard with my artist to get what I think is a moderately unique setup. And you know, people say I look like Zentreya, but guess what? We have the same model art. We have the same model Papa, I think. Is Papa artist or is Papa rigging?
Papa's rigging.
Okay.
Mama is the artist. Unless your artist is a male, then I guess you could say Papa, I guess. But
yeah. Like Zentreya and I had like with my first model, my Zentreya and I have the same model artist with her cyborg model. So like for when I first debuted with my model, it's like, wow, you look the same. It's like, well, actually, here's the reason. And you know, I think it really, the only people who really call out, I think it's insecurity. VTubers' insecurity is the reason why they want to call it out, because they feel like the moment they lose out that uniqueness of being the quote unquote first of their kind, they're no longer going to grow.
Yeah, there is a originality to some sense. Like, I'm not the only chinchilla VTuber out there. There is others out there. There is definitely 100% others out there. There is actually another gray chinchilla VTuber that I do follow, and she's an amazing person. She has a lot more views than I do, but that doesn't matter. But she doesn't have the gray skin or whatever. But when it comes to originality, it's definitely hard. I know I found difficulties doing that when I was making Wolf's PNG model for the first time ever. And if I could redo his PNG, I would. I definitely 100% would, just because I would like for his model to look very unique and appealing to others, because he is that basic, oh my god, he's just a wolf boy butler, because there's a lot of wolf boy butlers unfortunately out there, you know?
Yeah. So if you had like the cosmic power to remove a stereotype from the creative space, whether it's VTubing or just in general, what stereotype would you want to get rid of or abolish?
It like what I guess you would have to explain like stereotypes in general. I guess I'm just a little confused. I'm sorry.
I guess like a better way to put it is, if you could get rid of like a really dumb perspective that gamers have with content creators, like would you get rid of men versus women not having the same skill level, or would you get rid of women hypersexualizing themselves? Like what would you want to get rid of in the gaming space?
Honestly, I would get rid of the fact that women, not all women should, you know, be sexualized by like men. They shouldn't be told to go to the kitchen, make me a sandwich, blah 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 blah, you know? If I could do that, if I could have the ability for women to be treated fairly, I would. For the years, for many years, besides being a VTuber, right, women have always gotten treated unfairly, unfortunately, and horribly. And if I could change that, I would. But unfortunately, I'm not all mystical being and can't change that. But if I could, I would.
Yeah. Honestly, I love that. I think this kind of affirms a lot of my personal ideas about what I think is going on in the content space. Because like I think like the thing is, like, if two men talked about this, we'd be castrated and shot on the streets, because it's like, how dare you? But I think it's really good to get like a woman's perspective in the gaming space too, because like it helps so much just to say like, and obviously, like, you know, there are men out there who have a very different visual or viewpoint in it, and there are women out there who have a very different opinion of it. It's all give and take depending on like the person themselves. And I'm very thankful that we get to have like this really nice conversation about this, because
of course
it needs to be said, you know, it needs to be talked about a lot.
I agree. And I think that what makes me different from most girls is that I am unfortunately cursed with the fact that I have more male friends than female friends, because I've never been a girly girl. I have always been a girl's girl, but I've never been a girly girl, and I've always agreed with, like, you know, like, oh yeah, like with men, like, you know, how they feel and stuff like that, because I had a friend who raised me that I view as my mom, and she taught me to, like, you know, basically treat others as you would treat yourself, and like, you know, just, you know, regardless of gender, I always treat people the same, and you know, it's just, that's just how it is. I agree with the aspects of what men have and what female have. I consider myself to be a supporter of both in regards to like how, like, especially coming from a female, you know, perspective. I agree with all of these things. Like, you know, if things could change, I wish it could. You know.
So I guess for it, as we get kind of towards the butt end of today's episode here, I would love to know, do you have any advice for any of the women who are watching today's episode in how you combat harassment, or how you combat the male to female differences?
So how I would say this is, I would describe it as a, like, that one famous art piece, but the woman is like being strong. Just basically see yourself as that art piece, and be as strong as you can and support other women, because sometimes there may be some of us like me that need support of other women, and just to make us stronger, because stronger we unite. We've lived in a society where we've gotten banged and bushed and, you know, thrown to the woods, and I feel like as a woman streamer, I definitely 100% try and support your fellow females, regardless if you're just lurking or saying hi and, you know, whatever, being a girl's girl, you know, just be there. I would say, like, if there's any harassment of any kind, maybe try and get like a fellow like male, like, you know, mod to just, you know, combat all of that and defend you. Like, you know, Wolf is always there for me, my best friend who's also a male, and my other best friend who's also a male always defend me. Even by chat, get yourself a strong chat. Even if you don't have a strong chat, be just, you know, ignore what people are saying and don't take it to heart, and grow as a strong woman, because you're gonna need that, because this world's a rough place, dude. Like, it's very, very much a rough place, and you know, you gotta just take the hits by the hand and just be like, I got this, we can do it. And even if you have male VTubers out there that are your friends, go support them. Make sure they get all the love and support, because you may never know what's going wrong with them. No offense to you or any male VTuber watching this, or males in general. You guys have the ability to master your emotions, and so try and support them. That you may not know if they're hurting inside there, but they're 100% probably are. And so just try and be there, because men's mental health, I support it like 100%. Like, check on your fellow men, okay? Yeah. Females, like, please do it. Like, be like, dude, you okay? They won't tell you, but just be like me with my best friend, be like honing him on his behind, be like, sure you're okay? And he eventually tells me, you know. So be there for each other, support one another. Like my mom has always told me, treat others with respect, as if you wanted to be treated that way, and just, you know, stay strong. And if you want someone as a fellow VTuber to confront them, whether you're a male or female, I'm always there for you regardless, you know? I'm always there for everyone. I'm always their cheerleader, no matter how many views I have. If I have 1 or 2, I don't care. I'll always be your cheerleader, you know? Yeah.
Hell yeah. And my message to the fellows who are watching here today's episode, remember that in this day and age right now, the internet is a wild place. Societal norms are changing, and men, although we are by all means allowed to be the strong and top of the food chain kind of dudes, we are allowed to show vulnerability with those that we trust. In the realm of content creation, it's okay to do what you believe makes you happy. Have and find that strong connection, whether it's with your fellow homies or even your chat. Having a strong connection with your people is the best way that you can get about your days. And understand, there are going to be differences with how people make content. You are not guaranteed to grow, and you are not obligated to grow. Because someone chooses to use sex appeal, that is how their legacy is going to be made. If you are the one who chooses to grow because of your personality and your ethics and morals, then by all means, make that your legacy. And when it comes to your fellow creators, whether they're male or female, they're trying to do the same exact thing as you, and they deserve just as much support as you. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes communication. Do not be afraid to say, hey, what are you doing that you think is working really well? And never assume in a negative way that what they're doing is using sex to find ways to grow. Using sex appeal as your one and only excuse for your lack of growth is a coward's tool, and in a lot of ways, it's just an unnecessary cop-out, because at the end of the day,
I agree,
you can grow without using your bodies. So nevertheless though, I think it's really good to have these kinds of conversations, and whether it's with another bro or a lady, you know, you are allowed to have these conversations with people, and to really make sure you are just with people that see the world the same as you. Liana, I want to thank you so much for tuning in here to today's episode. And for everyone who's watching this episode here today, whether you guys are on the live recording on Twitch or watching us here today on YouTube, consider checking out Liana here on their Twitch. There will be a link in the description as well as a link in the end of the video. But nevertheless, so guys, I have been your host, Nico Silverado. This has been Liana, and this has been episode 13 of The Silver Lining. Adios, sayonara, and goodbye.